Hi friends, Mrs. Harris here. Today we're going to learn about arrays. I can use my understanding of arrays to create windows on a building and show my mathematical equation. Hooray for arrays! We will be creating one city building, but first we have to understand what an array is. An array is a mathematical equation that makes things easier to count for us. Right now I've just created a row of 3 blue diamonds. The row goes across. When you think of a row, I want you to think of theater seating. You go in and you sit down in the rows of it. Now an array also has another part to it, and that is called the columns. The columns are vertical, they go up and down. And as you can see, I'm adding 2 more rows, but I've created 3 columns. Rows go across while columns go up and down. Here's some columns from ancient Greece. And you can see the different equations we ended up with. 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals, or 3 times 3 equals. They end up in the same number. Now let's go find some arrays.
Hi friends, Mrs. Harris here. Today we're going to look around the classroom for some arrays. Let's go. On my desk I found an array with markers. I can see that there's 10 rows and 4 columns going down. So I know that I've got 40 markers. Let's go to the back room. I think we might find some things back here. This is my storage room. Right here I've got something that kind of looks like a window. It's the way that artists draw and they break things up. You can see I've got 4 rows and 3 columns. That tells me quickly that I've got 12 squares there. Around here you'll notice that I keep my paints kept in an array. That way when I do my inventory, I know immediately I've got 3 rows of green and 2 columns of it, so I've got 6. That makes a nice rectangle. Look at this one, I've got 2 and 2. Makes a nice looking square. Hey guys, I'm out in the hallway. Look what I found. Another array. Can you see that? There's 3 rows, and then let's see how many columns we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our multiplication problem would be 3 times 8. They're everywhere!
Part 1 is our warm-up, 5 or more buildings.
This project has 2 parts to it. The first part you're going to do is you're going to practice making an array. So I'm going to have you draw some buildings. I'm going to have you create a line at the bottom here, because what I want you to do is write your equation down here. Next thing I'm going to have you do is begin to make your buildings. And I'm going to create a triangular roof. Just create a rectangular shape. Try to make them each a little bit different. Each building is going to hold different windows. I'm going to do something like this, and then I'm going to go back and add this on the, oops, didn't quite make it, this on the top. And then I think I'm going to make step building. And then I'm going to have one of my buildings go off the page. Next thing I want to do is I want to add those windows. And I'm going to start right here because this is a different shaped building. I'm going to add a window up top here, but this is not going to be part of our array because again, an array has rows and it also has columns. So I have to be able to do that. So for this one, I'm going to make my windows circular. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, add a door. All right. Now, when I think of this, I'm going to pull some lines down here. I'm going to say to myself, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows and 1, 2, 3 columns. Okay. So that's what I want you to do on each one. But remember, these buildings that are a little bit different, we're not going to be counting the windows that are up here because it's not going to work. So up here, maybe I'll just put a great big window, but this window is not going to be part of our array because it's not an equal number. We don't have an equal number of windows going up. So that's the one thing with an array. If I was to skip over a window, this would not be an array because I don't have equal numbers of windows. So I need to make sure I have the equal number of windows. If I want to stop, and maybe I want to now draw some larger windows, this right here is going to be my array. So these windows here will be my array windows. So this is the first part of it. You're going to just do a warm up for me so I can see that you understand arrays. So on this one, we've got 3 rows and 4 columns. Okay, it's your choice if you want to black marker them. I had some kids who black marked them, and I had some kids who chose to color them. They looked great.
Here's an example of some student work. Remember, this is the first part. This is just a warm-up. The assignment is coming next. Time to build our building. Add those arrays.
All right, we are going to make our array building. We're going to make a silhouette of a building. I'm going to fold my paper in half because I want my building to be symmetrical. Symmetrical means same on both sides. And I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to create this crease. This is what's going to keep my building together. So when I cut, I need to cut from the opening in towards the crease. So I'm going to start, and you can make your building any shape you want. You don't have to follow my lead. I want you to be creative and come up with your own idea for a building. And again, if you don't have black construction paper at home, you could do a couple of different things. You could color a piece of paper black. Maybe you would want to even use a lunch brown bag or even a larger one from the grocery store. So here's my building. And you can see that when I make my array, I'm going to have to make it here because up here, I'm not going to have equal number of windows. When I begin to make my windows, I'm going to use construction paper because that's what I have available. You might not, being at home. Post-it notes would be great. Or you could take a piece of paper and color little squares and cut those out. So again, whatever you have available to you. So I'm gonna start with my windows. I can cut out multiple windows at once by folding this paper and folding this paper. I want them all to look pretty much the same, so this might be a good idea. So I know I have to cut the folds off, otherwise they're gonna stick together. I'm gonna make some long rectangular windows. So I'm gonna start by cutting those folds off. And now I'm gonna start, and I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm gonna try to keep them about the same. Cutting a whole bunch so I can decorate my whole building. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna pull them apart and I'm gonna start to lay them out. So as you can see, I'm starting with my first row of the array. I've got 3 on that side, so I'm gonna have 3 on this side.
Once I've got my plan, I'm going to begin to glue my windows down. Remember, just a dot, not a lot. We don't want this to leak out. I can add other windows up top, but they're not going to be part of my array. I can add a door, again, not part of my array. Once I finish decorating the building, I'm going to create a card that I can write all my equations and my names on. Don't stop at one building. You can make a whole city at home.